sister, and she is here today on our Life is Trail Running Life-ism to do some baking for us, which I'm really excited about. This will be great.
It's gonna be fun. One of my grandmother's favorites. Well, our grandmother's favorite.
Oh, yeah, right? This will be great. And you recently started an Etsy shop.
Yes, I did. It's called Light-of-the-Moon-bakery.
Nice. So people can just find you right on Etsy by searching for that?
Yes.
All right, and I'll put a link below too so that they can just click on the link and find you that way.
Thank you.
Do you bake a lot of different things? Is there something specific you focus on?
Well, right now I'm just doing no bakes on Etsy, but I do sell to local cafes and individuals. They can just contact me on Facebook at Light of the Moon Bakery as well. And if they want, you know, something specific, let me know. I do have a lot of gluten-free items now that I'm starting, like sugar
that's
cookies.
so great because so many people have gluten
Right.
intolerance and allergies. So
Right.
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, and peanut butter cookies, and then I just do regular cookies and stuff too. But this is one item that I cannot make and sell because it has pumpkin in it. So by New York State, you know, laws, I can't sell this. So I'm gonna share this with everybody, and I'm gonna do a gluten-free one so that if you'd like to do something like that for yourself at home, it's a great
Nice.
option, especially for the holidays.
All right, and down below we'll also put the recipe that you're doing today too,
Yes.
so people can kind of have that option if they
Mhm.
want to make it.
Yes,
All right,
definitely.
so let's get started. What are we going to begin with?
We're gonna be doing the pumpkin roll. So first, I start with release foil, and I put just a little bit of cooking spray on it because it does help to release it when it comes out of the oven. Plus I'm doing gluten-free, so it might stick a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So in here I have my flour, my cinnamon, and my baking powder.
Okay.
And here, instead of doing the 3 eggs like I usually do, I'm going to do an egg replacer.
Oh, this is nice.
That way, if you want it to be vegan,
It kind of looks like mashed bananas almost.
does
It really
I
does.
guess when I mix
Yeah.
it up. That was the brand that I used. And the gluten-free flour that I used was also the same brand. And that's that one that I used.
And is it Bob's Red Mill?
Yes, it is. I have the pumpkin, which is 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin. I just use canned pumpkin, but if you have fresh that you put in your freezer, you can do that too.
Okay.
And I have the sugar.
All right.
So I just throw everything all together and start mixing it up.
It's a quick, simple, easy recipe that anybody can make.
Yes.
Now, could you substitute sweet potatoes for pumpkin if you wanted?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Would that be
Yeah.
something you could probably do? Or squash if you had it
Squash,
left
yeah.
over from the holidays.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good idea.
Which would be a good way to use it up.
Yeah, that is.
And this seems to be mixing nicely.
Yes. Now, see, now this is a little bit, seems to be a little bit stiffer than what it is if you use regular flour.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I adjusted my temperature and time for this one.
Okay.
If you're gonna do gluten-free, I do 350 for 18 minutes. And if you're just gonna do a regular one, that is 375 for 15 minutes for
Okay.
regular flour.
So we'll put it down in the bottom for you too to specify the 2 out so that everybody knows which one. All right, so now we're gonna take your batter and you're gonna pour it right onto the tray.
Yes.
Okay?
And I use a medium-sized tray when I go and make it.
And is this gonna puff up pretty thick or is it gonna stay pretty flat?
Well, with the gluten-free, it doesn't puff up quite as much, but I have one that I made earlier that I'll show you that is a regular flour one, and you'll see the difference in it. It is a lot puffier.
Okay. You could, instead of using a typical egg replacer, you could use ground flax seeds too.
That's true.
And that
Yes.
would fill in that gap. So you
Yeah.
probably could use that as well. Okay, so now we're gonna take this and put it right in the oven.
Yes. Set the timer for 18 minutes.
It's frosting time!
That's already.
It's not frosting making if you don't make a mess.
I know, and I always do when it comes to frosting. I'm doing my Betty Crocker frosting recipe. It's vanilla, and it's 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1/3 cup of margarine or butter. I like to use Crisco or whatever kind of shortening you like. I like the butter flavored one. I think it tastes really, really good. That is going to be 1/3 of a cup.
Oh, you're already sweet. And look, now you have
I
powdered
know.
sugar on you. You're even
Wearing it.
sweeter.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, so nice.
Adds a little color to the shirt. Maybe I should have worn white today. Wait till I start mixing.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And would you like to get the vanilla for me that's over there?
Yeah.
And that is going to be 1.5 teaspoons. And then it's going to be 2 tablespoons of milk. Now, sometimes I use
Coconut milk.
Oat milk, whatever kind is your favorite.
Almond
milk, yep.
Regular, soy, whatever you want.
Yep. And sometimes I find that it's not enough. Oh, great. Now I'm going to make more of them.
Yep. I'm going to stand back.
Please do.
Whoa. And how much more should they add if they need more? Just kind of feel it out a little bit?
Yeah, probably go about a tablespoon or half a tablespoon at a time.
Okay.
And sometimes when you get done, if it still doesn't look quite right, sometimes I throw a little extra shortening in to make it a little bit creamier. Okay, looks done.
That looks awesome.
That does, look at that. Yummy.
Wow. That came out really nicely. Now, with this frosting, do you need to chill it at all before you put it on your pumpkin roll once your pumpkin roll is cooled, or is it just
No,
ready
you
to
just
go?
put it right on, and it'll be easy to spread too because it's just room temperature.
Okay.
So, and it's nice too with the Crisco because it actually holds its form better. Sometimes when you use butter, or especially if you use margarine, I would not recommend margarine because it just runs.
So we took the frosting that she made, put it in a little dish, we're gonna set it to the side, and now we're gonna make a cream cheese filling as well. So you kind of have different options.
Okay, so we're about halfway through the baking time, and what I do is I go in and just turn this around so that it bakes evenly and let it in.
So this one is a cream cheese frosting.
Yes, this is a cream cheese frosting that usually people put inside because they like cream cheese. This one is 1 package of cream cheese, 1 cup of powdered sugar, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and 4 tablespoons of butter. Once again, I'm going to use Crisco because that's what I can eat, and for me, it seems to turn out better.
Vanilla.
Yes, half a teaspoon of vanilla.
Now we're just gonna mix it up.
Yep, mix it up, and this doesn't have any kind of, coconut milk or oat milk or anything in it. Here we go. Now you can see the consistency.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. Looks great.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, that's just perfect. Frosting done.
Okay, done. Hey, and it's done. It's been 18 minutes. So I'm taking it out.
We got the pumpkin roll out. We're all set. What are we doing? We're doing it hot, right?
Yes.
Still hot.
Yep. When it's still hot and you take it out of the oven, I mean, you can give it a few minutes if you want, but I wouldn't wait more than 5 minutes. What I do is I sprinkle it with about a third, maybe just a quarter of a cup, depending on what you want, of powdered sugar.
Okay.
And I try to spread it out evenly.
And what does that do for it?
That is going to help it not stick to the towel.
Oh, okay.
So when I make the pumpkin roll, it's good to roll it in a towel, and that's what's going to keep the moisture in. Because a lot of people say, well, how did you make your pumpkin roll that it didn't come out dry? Well, that's the secret to it. That Grandma always said was put it in a towel.
Oh, all right.
So, and not just any towel. We take towels that are kind of like older towels that we only use for that. They kind of turn out like cheesecloth almost.
Okay.
So if you have cheesecloth, you could use that as well. Now, what I do so that all the powdered sugar doesn't fall out is I try to fold it over a little bit on that end, and then take it like that, and I flip it.
Okay.
And then I just peel it off. See, now that came off nicely because I sprayed the foil first.
Otherwise, it would have stuck and been a
Yes,
mess.
yeah. And you can see I made a little bit stuck, but it's not too bad.
And do you have to put powdered sugar on this side?
No, that side I don't. That side I just roll like this. Oh, my board's a little short. There we go. Okay. And then I just take that and I set it aside. Now it does take a little while to cool. So sometimes what I do, I'll put it in the freezer or something like that just to get it to cool down a little bit faster. But you have to wait till it's completely cool before you try to put your filling inside of it, because obviously it'll ooze out.
And if you want to put it in the freezer, how long would it take?
I'd probably put it in maybe 30 minutes at the most, and just check it. There again, to your freezer, depending on how cold it is, it might, only take 20 minutes or so. Maybe it will take 45 minutes.
So do you want to stick this in the freezer?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we put the gluten-free pumpkin roll in the freezer now to cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is this?
This one is a pumpkin roll I made earlier this morning. That's just a regular pumpkin roll. It has regular flour in it and eggs. That one I'm going to go and fill with our cream cheese filling that we just made a few minutes ago from our recipe.
Oh, awesome. All right, so you just unroll it.
Yes, and also have either parchment paper or wax paper ready for when you fill it and roll it, because you're gonna need that ready to go.
Okay.
It's a little hard to handle.
So do like little dollops throughout.
Yep, I would do probably about 6.
And you use all your filling.
Yes, every bit of it. Where you're going to roll, where you're going to end, I usually give it a little space because, you know, when you go to roll it, a little of it might move that way. So,
okay.
Make it yourself a little bit.
Does it help it to stick together if there's a little bit of frosting right at the end? Or does it just make it a mess and not stick together?
It'll help, but I wouldn't put it too close.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna roll it.
And you roll it right in the towel, like
yes,
with the towel.
Right. And of course it's finished product, so you definitely be using gloves to do this, but it's just for us.
Yeah.
So obviously.
Wow, that is a big pumpkin roll.
Yes, it really is. Then, right in there. Wrap it up. Now, what I do, once it's wrapped up and I put it in a freezer plastic bag, I keep it in the freezer because then when you take it out and you go to slice it, it turns out better.
Oh, so it's nice and stiff and firm and slices evenly.
Yes. Okay. It just needs to stay together better once you freeze it.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. It's all ready for the freezer.
Now you could just gift this to somebody.
Yes, you can.
As is.
Yep.
Good
And then
holiday
they can
idea.
freeze it, right? If they want to freeze it, you know, at their house then, or if they're ready to eat it right then, they can too.
Make it fresh for your neighbors, deliver it, and say freeze it.
Yep. There you go.
I love it.
Yep.
So the gluten-free pumpkin roll was in the freezer for what, about a half hour, a little bit more?
Yeah, maybe almost 45 minutes.
So the gluten-free pumpkin roll is now ready to be filled with the frosting that you made. So you're gonna coat it and roll it up.
Yes.
All right, and which frosting is this?
This frosting is the one that's just plain vanilla Betty Crocker recipe that I use the butter Crisco in.
Okay.
And you can see now that we unrolled it, the gluten-free one is a little bit thinner than what the one made with the regular flour is. And you can actually eat this one because no gluten,
Oh,
no
yeah.
eggs, and no dairy in it.
Yeah.
And you can see how it is a little bit smaller than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Not much, but just a little bit.
It still comes out though just as moist
Mhm.
as the regular one that's
Yes.
not gluten-free, which is nice. And it actually doesn't look like a gluten-free baked
No,
good.
you wouldn't know unless somebody told you it was gluten-free. And you wouldn't really know by the taste either. It doesn't have a gritty, grainy taste to it either.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes gluten-free can. There we go. And for your gluten-free neighbors, you can hand this to them instead. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. I will put the recipe for this down in the description. If you have any questions or comments, you can comment below. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Life is Trail Running. And I think we're gonna have more of these videos coming at you from Light of the Moon Bakery, which is my sister's Etsy shop. I'll put a link down below for that as well. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.